Hello, everyone. I am joined by Samantha Stringer today. She is one of my favorite VIPs. I'm probably going to say that about everybody, but she is one of my favorite VIPs. Samantha, thank you so much for hanging out today. Let's just start by talking about your VIP journey. We're going to talk about your business, and then I've got a few questions for you about your journey. So go ahead and dive in. Tell me a little bit about your path with VIP and about your businesses.
Yeah, for sure. I found VIP. I actually stumbled upon Sadie's blog, joined the free Facebook group. And then whenever I was in there, I could see this community growing and these VIPs excelling. And VIP opened up, and I was like, yep, that's me. So I checked that box, got in just as soon as I could. I was a brand new blogger. I even remember the first time that we met, you being like, that's your idea. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's my idea. Like you didn't like the name, you didn't like the title. It was a decluttering blog, boot camp mom. But once you saw the
I
idea,
forgot about
you
I,
saw me.
I forgot about how opposed I was to
You
boot camp
were.
mom
You did
at
not.
first. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
It didn't. And everybody questioned it. But I was like, in my head, it makes perfect sense. So
And
we
you
rolled
did
with
it.
it. Yes, I did it. I did it. So we've got Boot Camp Mom out there. It's a decluttering and organizing blog that's syndicated and kind of just runs on its own right now. And then on the other side of it, after joining VIP, Sadie and I noticed that there was a need for somebody to teach about digital planners. And so it was kind of this silver platter offer where I jumped in. I was like, I can do that. I can learn it and teach it and build up this membership. Let's go. And with that, makedigitalplanners.com is the blog. And the MDP Advantage membership was launched, which was so exciting for me and my mom. We were able to teach people new things about digital planners and help them like get the fear out of the tech side of it, which is something both her and I just love to do. So I'm extremely thankful that I found not only the free Pips group, but VIP when it was open, and this community. So I just love it.
I love I all these things I forgot because you've been in VIP for a while. I How did I forget about your mom? Your mom has been such a big part of this journey, and just the way that she has grown, and then the setbacks that she had, and then she grew again. Like that is really let tell me a little bit about how it's been like working with your mom to grow a business. I want to know a little bit about how that feels, like the dynamic.
So it's interesting because she's a retired teacher. So she went from having full on purpose 9 months out of the year to nothing. Like she was just at home. She didn't have anything to do. There was no expectations. And so she just kind of got really retired there for a little bit. She wasn't doing a whole lot. And then I started talking about the blogging and Sadie and all this. And I was like, Mom, you can come on. It's on the computer. She's not having to answer to anybody, but just helping and keeping her brain active in her retirement years. And all that was so she jumped in right away. Plus, it was a little bit of extra money. And at the time, they really needed help supplementing their retirement income because my dad's also a retired teacher. So she was like, yeah, if $100 a month, I'm in. And then, like you said, she had some setbacks. There was a stroke, and then we had, the passing of my brother. And so we've kind of been up and down, but still she's there. She's like, always emailing me and be like, what do you need next? What's the next thing? So I love it. And she just gets so excited that she's also part of this community. She'll be like, I was on the call and I got to see, so-and-so talk about this. And so it's kind of given her more of a community as well, because it's hard when you're retired. I mean, they don't have a lot of friends. They just moved to a new, community, like a whole nother town than they've ever lived in before. So it's hard, but then she's got this too. So it's been great to bring her in, and her and I are the same person. So it's not really a hard dynamic, I guess.
I love that. And I do love seeing her face on the call. And one thing that I really love about VIP that was totally unexpected is we have students that are in their 20s, and we have people all the way up to, I think our oldest VIP is almost 70. And like we all work together so well. Like, it's not this weird, like, oh, the 20 somethings don't fit in, or oh, the, 65-year-olds don't fit in. We all fit together so cohesively. Like, it is the wildest thing. I never imagined that that's what
Wouldn't
would
think that it
happen.
would work only on the internet,
No.
but it does, it
Yeah.
works. We all work really well together. I love it.
Yes. I love that you get to work with your mom. And what I also love, back to how you started with the silver platter offer, for those of you who are not in VIP, I used to like throw ideas out there and call them silver platter offers because they were things that I knew could help my VIPs along the journey. I still throw them out there, but not we changed the process a little bit. But whenever I said, hey, we need to do, it would be helpful for my people to learn how to do digital planners because then they can add those digital planners to their memberships to deliver more value. They can make digital planners, sell them on Etsy. They can use them as freebies on their blog and, really make a business out of this. And I love that you didn't know how to make digital planners, right? Like, tell
Oh.
me a little bit about that. When you saw that idea and it excited you, like what was your path? What happened from you seeing that idea and being like, "Yes, me." Like, how did that work out?
So yeah, that's a fun one. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I can do this. So I jumped on YouTube, Google, using the internet to my advantage and just started looking at the different platforms you could use. I noticed that Canva, you could make them in Canva for the basic ones. And I was like, heck yes, everybody loves Canva. It's basic, it's simple. There's a free version. So I researched. I took notes as I went through YouTube videos to see what they were doing and the buttons they were clicking, and just basically took the information and then put it to use and added kind of my own spin on it as I could. The basics are there. It's hyperlinking, it's setting out the layout, it's creating the pages and duplicating. It's a simple process. It's just tedious, is what I learned. So I tried to make it as less tedious as possible by creating the MDP Advantage and actually providing commercial use templates that are fully hyperlinked so that these creators could kind of get a jump start in their creation journey. And so by doing that, it kind of takes the scary out of it. But for anybody who doesn't want to do that, I am also so OCD and very good at creating, click by click, thorough instructions. And so that's the other side of the MDP Advantage, where I have courses and blog posts and everything that is like, if you want to create these, here's the very simple, basic steps to get you going. But I loved that offer and I just jumped in and I knew all I had to do was be ahead of the audience that I was bringing in. You always tell us that in VIP. I did not have to be an expert. I just needed to go out, learn and do, and then teach others.
I love that you did that because most people, VIP or not, most people, they will see an idea and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do that." And then as they get started on the path, they will stop because they're too in their head about it. They're like, "Well, if I don't even know how to do this, how am I going to teach somebody? How's somebody going to pay me to learn how to do this when I'm not even the expert?"
They
But
need to add
there's,
yet,
yeah,
not the
like,
expert yet.
you just got to keep going. You're not going to get become an expert by sitting around, and you're not going to become an expert by consuming content. Like, tons and tons of content. No, you're going to become the expert by doing it. And then you're going to become even more of an expert by teaching it because your students are going to ask you a bunch of questions that you didn't think about.
Mhm. Oh, for sure. And you're like, well, let me go learn that. And you do, you go learn it, you try it, you make sure it works, and then you give them that information. And then you know how to do it.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
it's fantastic. I love the digital planners. I love the feedback I get in my group with them where they're just like, thank you. Thank you for helping us. And I'm like, you're
That
welcome.
feels so good.
It feels really good. I'm like, you're welcome. I simplified it for
Yes.
you.
Yes, because it's like so cool that we can do something that's fun for us, fun for our brains, fulfilling, that kind of thing. But then we're also on the flip side, A, getting paid for it, and then B, helping people so much that they're emailing us, messaging us, posting in our Facebook group saying
Yep.
how we helped them. And like, to be able to help people and make money, there's not really anything better than that, in my opinion.
No, no, I love it. I feel good about it. You feel good about doing it because you are actually helping.
Yes, I love it. Okay. So, I have a few questions that I thought of ahead of time. So, can you share an example of like a specific win or success that you've experienced since joining VIP? And I know you've had quite a few, and you're a lot like me. You don't really go out there and brag on yourself and say, "Oh, I did this. This was my win, blah blah blah." But I know that you've had some. So, for the newbies who need some inspiration who are watching, what's one of the wins or successes that you feel you've accomplished?
My most favorite is launching the membership, especially with my mom, because once we like got together and we were collaborating and emailing kind of like a little business, and it was just, it started at a time that like right after that, my brother passed. And I know that if we hadn't built that foundation, we wouldn't have come back around to doing the membership, coming out of that kind of season of depression, and being like, well, mom, we've got this membership. Let's work. And that is such a great way to get, especially retired people out of their head. Like, let's get your brain busy. Let's get you doing work. So I am just so thankful that I took the steps. I put the work in. I feel confident in the product that we created and that we promote. And I just look to just keep building on it, even if it's not at the pace that maybe others are. Because I feel like sometimes me and my mom might move a little bit slower just depending on life. But even at our own pace, we're still building this great product, and helping these people. So launching the membership was a big deal for me, that I finally got to that step, because I never really launched that membership with the decluttering. So whenever I actually did it with the digital planners, I was like, yep, look, I did that. So that was a big success for both my mom and
I love that. And you're so right about like keeping their brains busy whenever they're retired. I mean, we all need to keep our brains busy, but when you've got little kids running around, your brain just kind of starts to melt, right? So
Yes.
this is this is like something that you can step into and it's your own, and you don't have like anybody else's hands in it. It's yours and you get
Yes.
to nurture it, and like it's your space. And I love that because thank the good Lord, my children are all 18 now, but I've been a mom since I was 15 years old and I'm almost 40. So my brain definitely had lots of years of just melting and like wanting a space that was mine. And that actually leads me into the next question. Have there been any unexpected benefits that you found in VIP that you were not, unexpected that you weren't expecting? I think that's a little redundant, but is there anything
It'll work.
unexpected from VIP?
Yeah. So I joined VIP knowing that I was going to get access to Sadie, who I fully believe is the best in the blogging industry. Just so you know. So that's why I joined, because I was like, I want these coaching calls. I want to hear from somebody, them telling me what to do. Basically, I'm an adult, but I want somebody to tell me what to do, is where I'm at in life. So I joined for that. But my unexpected is the community, the friendship. I have like true friends inside VIP. And I know it sounds weird because it's like internet friends or whatever, but I was a stay-at-home mom. I've been one for 8.5 years now. I used to work in corporate America, and as soon as I had my first son, I stayed home. And then 18 months later, I had another son, and it was chaos. I was like, what is happening? And at about year 4 of stay-at-home motherhood, I was like, I've got to do something for me. I have to have something that I can be like, mommy's working and not cleaning or whatever, because that's not the same thing. I had to be like, mom's having this time to work on this, and you can do X, Y, or Z during it. My brain just could not focus on my kids solely. I had to have some creative thinking. Um, and the friendships that I've made, I mean, I joke around with people. I post something on my Facebook. The first people who respond are people from my VIP group. It's not friends from high school or moms from PTA or, whatever. I mean, I'm making more worldly friends now, like here in Missouri, as my kids get older and they're in sports and school and, activities and stuff. But man, those early years where you're just at home with toddlers, it's a lot. So for me, just getting my brain going and making these friendships that are truly friendships to me. I mean, I value every single person in VIP. We always say that we are VIP for life, and that's me because I mean, I love it. I just love it.
That was definitely unexpected for me as well because like you, I was a stay-at-home mom. I've worked online their whole lives. So for me, it was like I didn't have any energy for friends to go meet up and have coffee. Like, where do you want me to put these three children while we go meet up and have coffee? And if somebody's watching my kids, I'm gonna go take a nap if you don't mind. Like, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, having friends inside VIP, it is really nice to just have that support. And we do focus on business, whereas friends in your real life, like whenever you are like you can't just go sit at a soccer game and be like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to my coaching call. I'm going to work on my blog. I'm going to work on my membership. They're going to be like, what are you even talking about? Like, they're not going to get it. And then you're either
Nope.
going to have to try to explain all of that and they're still not gonna get it, or like, like there's so
Or
many
they're going to get it and
things.
disagree with it, and then you're like, well, this was pointless. Thank you.
Right. Like you have a membership that costs $20 a month. How does that make you any money whatsoever? And like you can't get into, oh, well, it's low ticket marketing. We do attraction marketing. People come to us and da da da. We have a Facebook group and like all these just things that people in VIP get. Um,
Yes.
and I do love having that at any given time. You can go in the Facebook group, anything that you're having a problem with in your business, somebody else has gone through it, somebody else knows exactly how to get you through it. Like we have over 100 VIPs, and it's like there's always somebody there who's not just able to help, but ready, willing, and able to help. I noticed that that's a
That's the
big
key.
difference.
Mhm.
A
Yeah,
lot
because
of
they're
times,
actually willing to step out and give their advice and help where needed rather than being like, well, just wait for, Sadie and the team to do it. No,
yeah.
we want to help each other. And I just love that. We've got each other's backs. If you're in VIP, we got you.
Yep, I love that. Okay, so if somebody's watching this and they're like, I think I want to join VIP, but I'm not sure. Now that we are, application only, a lot of people are going to stop before the application is even submitted. So how do we help them submit the application and, take that leap of faith? What would you say to them?
I would say do it. If you're scared, if you're anxious, if you're unsure, do it anyway. If you're at the point in the that you feel like you can submit the application to be like, hey, Sadie, I've done the work and I'm ready for VIP, do it. Don't wait. Don't think, well, I'll go a little bit longer and see if I get a little bit further. Once you've hit the steps and you're there where you need to be, just jump right in. I am so thankful that I found VIP at the very start of my blogging journey because since I have been in VIP for several years now, I've seen a lot of new people come in and they're like established blog and they have, 89 posts and all this stuff. But then we look at it and we're like, oh, well, that's not necessarily the correct way to do it. And then they're having to revamp and go back through and make changes. And it's not the end of the world. It's totally doable. You can make those changes. I'm just very glad that I started at the foundational side of it because I knew exactly the path I needed to take. Took out all the questions. So if anybody's on the fence, come join us. We're crazy, but you'll love it.
Very crazy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all from different demographics, different walks of life, different places in the world, but the one thing we all have in common is like I feel like we share the same basic ideals. Like we have never had any situations where, thankfully, where people just like fundamentally are disagreeing on things, which I see happening in a lot of different masterminds. It's like we put out there who we're wanting to attract, and we've just done a really good job of attracting people that like we all believe in radical generosity. We all want to help each other and help other people. We all have a cause. Like any VIP you ask, what are you working towards? They're going to mention who they're going to donate to or who they're going to help. Like every single time. So
Yep.
I do love that. And speaking of that, I know that you are very generous as well. Are there any causes that you want to, highlight real quick while we're chatting that you have been able to help out?
Yeah, for sure. The main program that I help is called Canines for Camo. It's based out of Missouri. It's a program that takes dogs that are in shelters that are on the kill list, and it evaluates them. And if they show certain personalities to be able to be trained to be a service dog, then that dog is taken to a local federal prison. And there are inmates inside of the prison that are part of a puppies for parole program, and they dog train these dogs. So these certain inmates who meet these certain requirements of good behavior then get to move to a different area and have a dog with them 24/7. And they train it, they, teach it to pick up medicine and turn on light switches or be a diabetic dog, whatever the case may be for that specific dog. That dog not only helps prisoner that prisoner helps that dog. And then that dog is given free of charge to a veteran who's usually suffering from PTSD. That's the main purpose, is for the PTSD, but they could be ones that need help getting their medicine, diabetic, all this stuff. And I just love the program. My brother was a prisoner in a local prison here, and he was in this program, and it single-handedly saved his life. There was a time a couple months in that he was in, and he was in the dog program. He had made it into the dog program. And a guy came up and said, "Hey, we got to go fight. Like, that's what we do. You're on my side. We got to go fight." And Michael looked at him and looked at the dog, and he was like, "If I go fight, I'm going to lose this dog. And that's not fair to the dog. And I don't want to lose the dog. I have to be in prison. I want this dog." And so he said no. And that's the first time in his life of multiple trips in prison and stays in prison that he said no. And after this, he gets out of prison. He joins the Canines for Camo organization as the lead dog trainer. He created his own dog training company where he trained the service dogs and then helped other people. He did a lot for autistic children. It was just glorious to see this program kind of shape and help my brother's life for the future. And so that's a big organization that I usually try to donate to. Outside of that, I like to be the big tipper. Yeah, I think I've told you this. I like to randomly be like, I have $100 bill, leave it and run out of the restaurant just to brighten somebody's day. But those are the two big ones for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you there.
Making me cry was not on this interview plan, Samantha.
It's not on the bingo card.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
my
It's
gosh.
a fabulous organization. It's local in Missouri. I'm in Missouri for those of you who don't know, but yeah, we did a fund after my brother passed, and we got enough donations for that organization to pay for an entire service dog to go from shelter to prison to veteran. And I thought that was really cool, like in Michael's name, to be like, here's one more dog. So it was cool. I'm sorry.
As soon as you started talking about the dogs, I got chills, and then you added in the prisoners, and I just lost it. Like,
I mean, it's just to see the shelter dog on the kill list to a prisoner, to a veteran. It's a fantastic organization. And you don't put the dots together until you're like, oh my gosh, that's what they're doing. But I mean, it's changing lives, and it's for the best, and then these guys are coming out with a little bit of skills too in something else besides just water treatment or waste management or, all these things that they can get trained in a federal prison. It's one more skill. So.
And it helps so many, like if you think about the line, like the lineage of how many this helps, right? So you're saving the dog from the kill list. So just thinking about how I volunteered at like Humane Society, that kind of thing, you're helping the workers because you're getting a dog off the kill list, right? So you're helping them.
They're like, thank goodness.
Right. And you're saving the dog, which dogs, where's the greater than sign for humans? Like dogs, right? Right.
Yeah.
Like absolutely the best. So you're saving the dog, and then you're helping with a skill in like mental, emotional, like the holistic treatment of a prisoner. We could go on that could be a whole call. But like the holistic helping of an inmate, and then veterans, like my husband's a veteran, and if you think about how many people it helps outside of the veteran, because when a veteran gets help, it helps their whole family.
It
Their
helps their
family,
family, their community, their everything.
oh
It's
my
amazing. It's so
gosh.
many different sections of the world and the little fingers of it that is just like just bringing happiness. And Michael loved the organization. He was just I love they had a banquet a few years ago and he was interviewed on the stage and it was the most hilarious interview because he's even more awkward than I am. And I laughed and he sat down and he was like, how'd it go? I was like, well, that's pretty terrible. But I love you and you're doing great, you know? And he was doing so
Oh.
good. So it was fantastic.
I love that it was able to, change his life in such a positive way. That's awesome. And I love, also, not to take away from being the big tipper, I love being able to do that. Whenever we went to India last year, I remember we left the equivalent of a $5 tip because it was our last day there. We went to a coffee shop. The coffee was absolute ass. I did not like it at all. But the service was the best service we've ever gotten in our life. She was the sweetest waitress ever, or barista and waitress, whatever. And like when we left, I hurried up, put the rupees in there, and we got out because we knew that it would cause a commotion with her. And
Mhm.
so we like ran out. She chased us out the door.
Oh no.
We're like trying to run and jump in a tuk-tuk because we called the tuk-tuk, like we got everything ahead of time, and we're trying to run out and jump in a tuk-tuk, and she's chasing us. And she's like, no, this is too much, this is too
Oh,
much. And it was the equivalent of $5. And like being able to help somebody like have that good of a feeling, she was like on cloud nine, right? And then we were on cloud nine because we were like, oh, that was awesome. And like just being able to do that, and especially, yeah, here in the States, you do need to have 100 to have that kind of right.
yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to take. That or buying
But
their meal. We like to do that too. We'll buy a meal and then roll out real
yes,
fast.
yes, but like again, being able to help people, and then you're creating the ripple effect, and that's really what Pips is all about. Every business inside of Pips that we create, it's about helping someone, and then it's empowering them to help someone else. So it's not just who we can help, it's who can, like, we pass it along, and it just goes literally all over the world. We've got people in Australia, India, Jamaica, South Africa, like the UK, like so many places, and everyone's creating businesses to create ripple effects. Like I wish I could see it on a map, just all the
Yeah.
ripple effects,
Yeah, and it feels good to be a part of that because you can see it because we're in other VIPs Facebook groups and their email lists and their communities or whatever. And you can see it just like people being like, oh my goodness, thank you so much for helping me, whether it's my product or their product. I hit the desk if anybody heard that. I do
I
apologize.
didn't.
About it.
No,
Anyways,
but
but
I
it's
love
great.
it.
It's just a really good feeling to be in a community that supports each other and it's making a difference. So
Yes, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Tell me and tell everyone how they can, like, about your Facebook group, your membership, how can they stalk you?
okay. So I am on Facebook as Make Digital Planners with Samantha. You can go to my blog, which is makedigitalplanners.com. All the links to Facebook groups, freebies, anything like that is going to be on there. And if you want to check out the membership, it's makedigitalplanners.com/MDP. And you can read all about it there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was so fun. Definitely didn't expect the crying part, but hey, it is
I
what
can't
it
wait to tell
is, right?
everyone.
I know. I'm just like, that's literally what I'm thinking about, is how we have to go in VIP and everyone's gonna watch it just to see me cry because I never cry. So yeah. It
You're
was
welcome.
Samantha's trick to get her video watched.
It was the dogs. I want the most views. This is a competition.
Everything is a competition to Samantha.
Yes.
But on that note, in VIP, collaboration over competition is a huge thing. And I love that even if more than one person is teaching about the same thing, we collaborate. We do compete a lot with ourselves, and then like with VIP
Silly
little
things. It's
side
the silly,
quests.
yeah, it's silly little
Yep.
competitions. They're not
Yep.
real. They're
Yep.
just ones we make up in our head. But yeah, we do
Right.
collaborate all the time. I love that.
And I love it, like the competition and a little like back and forth, like, oh, I showed up to the coaching call first, or Sadie called on me in the coaching call, or like just the
I mean, it's
silliest
ridiculous
little
the things we come
things.
up with. It's like nobody else cares about this, but I'm like, ooh, I did.
I know, give me a gold star, damn it.
That's what it
Okay.
is, the gold stars.
Yes. Thank you so much, Samantha. I hope
Thank
if
you.
you're watching this and you're not sure that you're going to jump in and try it out, try VIP out with us, because we would love to have you. If any of this resonated, if you feel like, oh, I do want to help people, but I don't have the money to help people. Yeah, people say that money doesn't buy happiness. Well, money buys everything. You can't really be happy if you have a hungry belly, don't have a house and all of that, right? So that's how we do things. That's how we help people, is with money. Your cause, whether it's training service dogs for vets, or it's rescuing dogs from shelters, or rescuing dogs from Mexico, um feeding
Exactly.
families in Mexico like we were doing for so long. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to have money to do it. So you can have the biggest heart in the world. You could say, I want to save and help and blah, 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 all these things. But until you put the work in to make the money, it's just a pipe dream. You're not able
Mhm.
to do that. And so get in, make the money, and then we help you
And
change
then
your
get
little
those good
corner of the
feelings by
world.
helping people. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, exactly. All right, awesome. That was great.